Hello and welcome. Today's interview touches upon some of the topics linked to this month's event, actually, the Inlet Asia Digital Festival. And today I'm delighted to be joined by Yao-Kay Lee, the Senior Manager in Operational Excellence for Sarawak Energy. Hi, Yao-Kay. Lovely to see you and good morning.
Hello, good morning, Melissa. Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you. So first, if you could please introduce yourself, describe your role in current projects as a Senior Manager, and also introduce Sarawak Energy.
Right. Thank you, Melissa, for the invite, and thank you to Inlet Asia as well. Hi, I'm Yao-Kay. I'm the Senior Manager of Operational Excellence, and I'm also leading the digital transformations for SEB Power. So let me first give a quick introduction of Sarawak Energy. Sarawak Energy is a vertically integrated energy development and a power utility group. Sarawak Energy has a workforce of about 5,000, and our mission is to deliver reliable, sustainable, and affordable energy for the people of Sarawak. We have a solid foundation that goes back 100 years ago with a strong brand and a technical capability. We generate, we transmit, and we distribute and retail electricity over to about 700,000 accounts, serving populations of almost 3 million across Sarawak. And we are also Malaysia's largest provider of renewable energy, right? And to become a digital utility by 2025 is our vision and missions as well.
Great, thank you. So as the lead managing SEB Power's digital transformation in SEB, can you share 3 insights you've uncovered during the transformation?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. More importantly, in the group-wide, in Sarawak Energy group-wide, we have a vision by our CEO to be a digital utility by 2025. So respective business units, we will need to support the group visions. So it's very important during the digital transformations. One of the 3 insights that is most important for me personally is matching the top-down expectations and the bottom-up approach. Reason being is most of the time the management will have a lot of functions, a lot of workshops, and doing a lot of benchmarking around the world. So the expectations will be very high as well. And more importantly, we need to know how we support from bottom up. We need to make sure that things that are implemented are fit for purpose. That will be number 2 insights. So the third insights that we managed to uncover is basically, more importantly, when we have top down and bottom up approach, to have a fit for purpose applications. More importantly, we need to have planning and alignment across the business units. So a blueprint is essential in this as well. So here in Sarawak Energy, we have a digital power plant blueprint to match the top-down and bottom-up approach.
Perfect. Thank you for that answer. So what advice would you have for other ASEAN utilities who are kind of on their own transformation path currently?
The advices that I would personally share, or probably I would say that my personal experience that probably we could learn from each other, from our Asian facilities, is more importantly is first will be the benchmarking. We should keep on benchmarking with each other. Not only the utilities company, we should also benchmark with oil and gas. We should also benchmark across other industrial, even non-utility industrial. That's very important. Once we have benchmarked, we know what is around the world, is what we are implementing around the world. Then we'll bring the technologies into our company, and by not just blindly bring in the technology, we have to make sure that we need to do the process work to identify the opportunities before we introduce any new tools, new apps as well. So that's very important to do the process work. But more importantly is, most of the time it is applicable with other utilities company, but it may not be applicable to us. So we need to do the process work to identify the opportunities before we introduce the new things. And the third thing that I would say that is very, very important when most of the time when engineers works, uh, engineers is very technical, and we always forget about the commercial. So during our process work, always follow the money trail. We need to follow the money trail to improve our process, to improve the business. And all this has to be captured in the blueprint.
Makes sense. Fair enough. So then can you share 3 vital reasons for the digital transformation and how it's a vital ingredient in the energy transition?
Yes. In this new era, right, volume and the velocity of data will increase significantly in the next in the future. So more importantly, how do we need to optimize this data and generate both operations and business insights? These are very, very important. That's a saying as well. Data is the next crude oil. So data is money. Data is the future. So we have to make sure the data is quality, right? So as a saying, garbage in, garbage out. So we have to make sure the data has to be quality so that we could make a better predictive analysis and also prescriptive analysis. So the increased accuracy of and the speed of decision making is the key. So without this quality data, we cannot make the accurate decision or speed on making a decision. So this is very, very important. And for generation, especially where I'm at, this data comes in. It's very important to do finding small and fixing small. So this is very important because most of the time we have a lot of outages, false outages across the stations. So these data could actually provide us a platform so that we could find small and fix small even before a false outages happens. Right.
Absolutely. All good, very good reasons. So with regards to the digital transformation, how can the digital transformation help or hinder managing energy demand, would you say?
That's a very good question, Mel. Even before we look into help or hinder the energy demand, I think more importantly, we need to know the problem of most of the utilities companies in managing the energy demand. The first problem of the energy demand is actually there's a lack of integrated platform, data isolations. So most of the time, all this data is at different business units. So there's no single integrated platform to integrate all this data together. So secondly, without this data integrated platform, of course, we are unable to track historical patterns in terms of supply and demand trends as well. So this is also the second main problem that we are facing. And third thing will be the absence of the roadmap towards adoptions of new technologies and certain action plans toward energy efficiency. So in the digital transformation, if we carry out by integrated operations platforms, we have an integrated platform to facilitate the integrations of energy demands. So that will evolve towards a better energy demand, a cleaner energy as well.
Perfect. Very succinct answer. Thank you. So then also with the pillars of condition-based maintenance. So what are the pillars that you can think of off the top of your head with regards to condition-based maintenance? And what types of CBM strategies should utilities employ to ensure optimization?
Yeah, that's a very, very valid question, Mel, in terms of digitalizations, especially in the generations area. Personally, CBM is very good, condition-based monitoring, but there is still a bit of gap in CBM. So when we mention CBM, condition-based monitoring, most of the time we are measuring vibrations, viewpoint analysis, doing some data trending. Most of the time that is not sufficient. Why? we are providing services to our customer, to our stakeholders, which is the power stations, right? And if you put your head as a power station, you would not want to know other people tell you that your equipments have high vibrations. So the next questions that we receive most of the time is, yes, there's high vibration, so what? Right? So CBM has to be coupled with a performance, which we call here CPBM, Condition Performance Based Monitoring. That is very important because that is the gap that I mentioned earlier. The performance is the gap. So we need to, with the data available, we should pull in the data and to make sure that how we are currently operating at, how is the performance of that specific equipment. So we have the vibrations, we have the loop oils, we have the CBM thing. Coupled up with the performance, if I were to explain to our stakeholders, your equipment is actually having high vibrations and you have some content of loop oils that is abnormal. At the same time, if I'm able to tell the power stations that you are currently operating away from a best efficiency point, you're operating away from where you are supposed to operate at, then it makes more sense to them, and we know what to do next. And more importantly, CBM, we have, it's not just technical. It's not just technical. We have to couple CBM with the performance, which is CPBM, and more importantly, is to connect that to a financial logic tree, where we need to always follow the money trail. So we have to spend our resources to the money trail. That is the key of a successful application.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for answering that. So then what are the pitfalls, would you say, for digital transformation?
Beg your pardon?
What are the pitfalls for digital transformation, would you say?
Right. I think more importantly is most of the time when we bring in new technologies, new transformations, we just implement because other people implemented before. Right. So it's very important to do the process work in our own utilities. Every station's process work have to be introduced, we have to go through the process work before we know what tools to implement. So I think this is one of the biggest pitfall that I see. Many utilities, many companies as well, because other people is doing, because Singapore Power is doing it, because Shell is doing it, we just bring in the technology blindly. So we have to make sure that we do the process work. We need to follow the money trail before we implement any transformation.
I mean, it only makes sense, right? Thank you for that answer. So can you share, we're on our last question, can you share the 2 to 3 observations regarding the evaluation of technologies in the energy market?
Can you just repeat again your question?
Of course. Can you share 2 to 3 observations regarding the evaluation of technologies in the energy market?
Few evaluations in the energy market. There's certainly a lot of technologies currently in the market with China coming in, India, and the whole world. So even right now, when we wanted to implement any technologies, we have to have a wide aspect. We have to be diversity. We have to have this D&I, diversity and inclusiveness, to look at any other prospect as well. That is also a challenge to us because we are the end users and we are not the technology developer. So it's very difficult for us to gauge the market at the same time. So more importantly, we have to work out with our close partners, which are the consultants. They basically, most of the consultants, they have basically filtered out those that are in the quadrant 1 technologies. Right. So we have to work closely with the consultants so that when we assess, we don't spend a lot of resources to diversify too much. And that's a lot of time or resources will be spent over there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. That's actually all of our time for today. But this segment was brought to you as part of the Inlet Asia Digital Festival this month, the 28th through the 29th. Make sure to register for the event soon. Lastly, thank you to our Inlet community for watching, and also Yao Kei. So nice to meet you. Have a great week all, and thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Bye.
Take care.